My name is Tina White, and I'm the director of the Young Inventors Program at the Academy of Applied Science. Today, I'm with my friend Thomas, and we're so glad that you're participating in the summer reading program at the library this summer. We've teamed up with your librarian to create some cool STEM projects for you to do this summer that we think will be a lot of fun. So keep watching this video. We'll show you what you need, what to do, and we'll talk about some of the science behind what's going on so that you can continue to explore at home. And don't worry if we go too fast in the video today. Thomas, what could our friends do if they want to slow down?
Pause the video!
Pause the video to stop, and then press play again when you're ready to keep going. Along with this video, your library should have also given you a copy of a written activity plan that you can download and print at home. This plan is just a written version of what we'll show you today in the video. And you can also download the lab notes that go with the activity to help you along the way. So are you ready to get started?
Yes.
Awesome. Have you ever been tricked by an optical illusion? Illusions can be fun, but they are also quite scientific. In this activity, you will investigate the phenomenon of apparent motion by making your own flipbook animation. Today's challenge is to make a flipbook to create your own animated cartoon. Choose a scene from your favorite fairy tale or make up your own story. There are two parts of the activity. Part one will allow you to practice and to understand how to make an animation before you create your own animation in part two. So here's a little explanation about how an animation works. When you perceive an object visually, an image of an object is projected onto the back of your eye, something called the retina. This information is sent to the brain where it's processed and interpreted and forming the image that you see. Optical illusions use light, color, and patterns to create images that can be misleading to the brains. They actually trick our brains into thinking we're seeing something that we actually are. Apparent motion is one type of optical illusion that you experience every time you watch a cartoon. You perceive that the characters on the screen are moving fluently, but in fact, you are seeing many still pictures which are just flashing rapidly right before your eyes. So now it's time to gather the materials you will need for this challenge. Thomas, what are some things that our friends at home might need today?
Pencils, paper, markers,
Binder
clips, and rulers.
Great. So if you have some index cards at home, go ahead and use them. They can be lined or unlined. And if you don't have cards like this, you can make your own by just cutting out cards from paper or construction paper in a dimension of 3 inches by 5 inches across. And you want to make sure you have about 75 cards or pieces of paper. If you want to pause the video now to go get your materials, go ahead and do that. And just click play when you're ready to begin again. All right, so here's what to do. For part one, we're just going to test an animation. So you'll only need 50 index cards. The ones with lines on them, the ruled index cards, are the best if you have them. But if you don't, it's okay. You can use plain cards or just plain paper. Thomas is going to show us what to do. So first, Thomas, you want to divide your cards into 2 stacks of 25 each. And we've already done that at home. Now, on one of the stacks, you're going to draw a small circle about a 1/4 inch diameter or the size of a dime on the top card on the right end on the top line. Can you do that?
Yep.
And so what you're going to do is continue drawing a same size circle just as far to the right, but on the next line down. Continue drawing circles on each card, each time on the line to the space on the right, below the circle on the previous card, until you get to the bottom of the card. Then on the next card, you're going to draw a circle, again, just as far over to the right, but 1 space up from the bottom. And you'll continue doing this on all of the cards till you reach the top of a card. And repeat this pattern until you've used all 25 cards in the stack. Great job. So now you have one stack finished. Now let's move on to the second stack. So take the second stack of cards, and you're going to do something similar, but this time we're going to space those circles a little farther apart on the card. So they're not quite so close together going line by line, but you're going to skip lines this time. So again, you're going to draw a small circle on the top card of your second stack on the far right on the top line. On the next card in the stack, draw a similar size circle, just as far to the right, but 4 line spaces down. So you're going to skip 3 line spaces. On the third card, draw a circle 4 line spaces down from the previous circle. And if your cards don't have lines, draw a circle on the top card about 1/4 inch from the top. And then on the second card, you'll draw your circle about 1 1/4 inches from the top. And on the third card, about 2 1/4 inches from the top card. And again, you're going to repeat to the next card in the stack, drawing the circle as far over to the right, 4 line spaces up from the previous circle. Again, skipping 3 line spaces in between your circles on each card. And continue this until you reach the top of a card. All right. So now you should have 2 different stacks of animations. So let's try it. Flip through take each stack and put a binder clip on the left side. Oops, other side. Yep, make sure they're nice and neat. The left side over here, yes. So on the side that doesn't have your circles on it. You want to make sure that the edges are nicely lined up into a neat stack. Great. And do the same with your second stack, with the second binder clip. Again, clipping on the left side, the side that doesn't have the circle.
I remember.
And also in a nice, neat stack. Try and line up the edges. That's it. You can tap it on the table if you need a little help. Cool. So now you have your books. So take your first stack and try and flip it. I think this one was your first one. And watch what happens to your circle. It should look like there's a ball moving up and down on the card. And it may take a little practice to flip through, kind of like shuffling cards. The optical illusion is where you perceive something is moving, but in fact, you are seeing still pictures flashing rapidly before your eyes. And this is apparent motion. Now, we made 2 sets of cards where the circles were further apart in the second set. And that helps you test to see if the distance between the objects has an effect on apparent motion. So what happens when you flip the second set? Does it look like the ball's moving as fast? What do you see?
It looks like it's staying in one spot.
It doesn't really work as well when the objects are placed further apart on each card. Good observation.
And I mean, it goes quick, but it just goes up, down, stay.
And that's because there's more distance between the circle, which allows your eyes to really see that they're not the same thing moving. There are other things that you can test when making your animation, such as the speed at which you flip the book, just like Thomas showed, or the size of the circles or the pictures that you have on the cards. You can also test what happens when you make the cards bigger or if you make them smaller. And these are all things that you can try at home on your own. So now we're going to move on to part 2. And this is the fun part because you get to create your own animated cartoon. You'll need another 25 cards that are blank for your flip book. These ones are good to have blank because you'll be drawing whatever image you want. Now, you're going to have to think of an object from your favorite story that you want to animate or put into motion. But remember to keep your object simple because you're going to have to draw it 25 times on each of the separate cards. So you don't want to make something too detailed that might take you too long. You're going to have to draw it 25 times. So Thomas, what are you going to draw on your animations?
The magic carpet from Aladdin.
Great idea.
That's all I could think of.
It's a simple object, pretty easy to draw over and over again, and you want your carpet to fly, just like it does in the story. So to make your flip book using the same method as we did in part 1, take your cards and in a stack. And this time, instead of drawing the circle, draw the object that you want to put into motion. So you would draw your magic carpet on the first card on the far right-hand side at the top of the card, just as you did with the circle and your first set of cards in part 1. On the second card, you're going to draw the carpet again, but draw it move slightly over to the right or down. And then you're going to continue to draw your object on the book on each individual card. Just move it over slightly so that it looks like it moves when it's flipped or that it's moving up and down. Use your practice book with the circle as a guide for where to place your objects as you go. When you finish your stack, line them up, stack them together nicely, clip them with a binder clip, and see how your animation moves. Thomas, do you want to show us, see if your carpet will fly? All right, so let's check it out. Flip your flip book. Watch that carpet fly. There it goes. So now the rest is up to you. We'll leave you here for now. Have a great time, have fun, and we'll see you next time.